I'm only limiting it to 2, but there's so many different chest exercises that you do. Regardless, these are just what works for me. At the end of the day, any chest exercise that you want to do, go ahead. By all means, do it during your workout. Just know that you got to stay consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. Everyone's going to be a little different. Whatever works for this person to build up their chest might be a little bit different for you. You just got to find what works for you and stick with it. What's up, everyone? David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now, this video is going to be short. It's going to be sweet. It's straight to the point. We're going to be talking about every guy's favorite muscle group. We already know. What is it that you train on Mondays? Chest, International Chest Day, the chest, the pecs, chesticles, however you want to refer to them as, the muscle right here in the front of our torso. That is the key point for today. Obviously, it's a little bit more common for guys. They want to build up that chest. Everyone thinks that that's the muscle group that's going to make you look like that Superman figure, you know, well developed, nothing wrong with that. But there are just so many different chest exercises that you can do, so many different pieces of equipment, whether it be barbells, dumbbells, machines, whatever it is, so many different angles that you can go from decline to flat to incline. There's just so much things that you can do for your chest. It's kind of hard to decide what is going to be best for me, and of the exercises that I do select, how can I modify them, maybe to make them just a little bit more effective, to give me that little extra growth that I'm looking for. For today, I'm going to be going over what are my top 2 chest exercises and what are some little things that I can do to make them even better. Again, I'm only limiting it to 2, but there's so many different chest exercises that you do. Regardless, these are just what works for me. At the end of the day, any chest exercise that you want to do, go ahead. By all means, do it during your workout. Just know that you got to stay consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. Everyone's going to be a little different. Whatever works for this person to build up their chest might be a little bit different for you. You just got to find what works for you and stick with it. First off, it should just be some common sense. Bench press. Now, me personally, I like flat barbell bench press. Some people, they like to go with dumbbells. Why? Because when they go down, you know, the fact that the bar is not in front of their chest means the dumbbells, they can get a little bit of a deeper stretch on the way down. That is perfectly fine. Me personally, the reason why I like bench is just because I just got used to doing it. When I first started my home gym, I didn't have as heavy of dumbbells. So obviously when I go with the lighter dumbbells, I'm just repping out for so many reps that it was just easier just to load up a barbell and get some heavier weights on there. And now I don't have to do as many reps. So it's just personal bias. But even when I do the barbell bench press, what are some little things that I can switch up to make sure I get even more growth? And the first thing I'm going to say is go ahead and lighten up the weight and get some more reps in. I know that's a little ironic to what I just said about the dumbbells, about how I don't want to go lighter and just do more reps. But here's the thing. Are you a power lifter or are you a bodybuilder? Are you training for strength or are you training to build up that muscle? Too many times, especially with the bench press, it's that one exercise where everyone's always asking how much you lift, how much you bench. Hey, what's your 1 rep max? All right, how much can you do? Can you bench this much? I bench more than you. How come when it comes to bodybuilding, these guys, these gym bros that just want to build up their gains, every other exercise, it's all about repping it up, getting the pump. But the bench press, for some reason, is that one exercise where, no, it's a matter of who can lift the most weight. You got to keep in mind, if your goal is to build muscle, hypertrophy, training for looks, for aesthetics, the amount of weight that you lift is completely irrelevant to actually how the muscle is supposed to feel when you're working it out. Too many times for people to have the goal of wanting to build up the muscle, especially on bench press, they focus too much on the heavy weight. They focus too much on the 1 rep max, the 3 rep, 5 rep max, just going as heavy as possible. But if you really want to go about it in bodybuilding terms, the goal of building up the muscle, go ahead and lighten the weight and actually get some of those higher rep ranges in. It doesn't always have to be 5 reps or less when it comes to the bench press. Yeah, it's a good bragging point to your friends saying you can bench more than them. Yeah, you want to be ready to give a good number when someone asks you how much you bench. But at the end of the day, if your goal is to build it up, get bigger chest muscle, bigger pecs, go ahead and treat it just like any other muscle group. No one asks you how much you can 1RM. No one asks you how much you can lateral raise. No one asks you how much you can curl. Okay, and that's why we do all those different exercises for multiple reps, nice, slow and controlled, getting the good pump in those muscles, you know, filling it with blood, you know, actually making the muscle feel like it's burning, like it's working, like it's contracting. same thing with the bench. So go ahead, lighten up the weight and get multiple reps in. Now, how many reps should we be going about it? This is going to vary from person to person, and it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. What's going to work best for you. But the general consensus is for bodybuilding standards, usually just right around 8 to 12 reps, and that's perfectly fine. But how those 8 to 12 reps feel is going to be really important. You don't always have to train to failure when it comes to benching. Okay, if you train to failure, you might push yourself way too hard on the first set, and then it's gonna take you forever to recover, and then by the next set, you're just too fatigued. No. You wanna push each set to the point when you're done, you have 1, maybe 2 reps left in the tank. So again, you see, you don't have to go to failure. You just gotta go close to failure, but not necessarily to it. Another thing that when it comes to building up the pecs with the bench press, go ahead and control it on the way down. Slow eccentrics. Oftentimes, everyone's just focused too much on the way up, the hardest part of the lift, the part where you're actually contracting the muscles. And although, yes, that is the most difficult part, that's where you're gonna really feel the contraction, you're gonna feel the burn. That's not what's gonna give you the most amount of gains. You're gonna be leaving a lot on the table if you completely neglect the part on the way down. The part where you're actually stretching out the muscle, that right there, that portion, the eccentric, the lengthening of the muscle, that's gonna be the part where you're gonna get the most amount of stimulus. Again, for a muscle to grow, what we need is for it to be stretched across a good amount of resistance, and then we contract against that. And we gotta go nice and controlled on the way down. If you're just letting the bar come down, boom, and it's just bouncing it off your chest and then back up, yeah, you will see some results, because obviously your muscle is still working. At the end of the day, you're doing something, which is better than nothing. But if you want even more results, go ahead, slow and controlled on the way down, maybe even add a pause at your chest. Don't just bounce it and then back up. Again, the eccentrics are vital. And then lastly, for the bench press, if needed, go ahead and throw on some elbow sleeves. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes when we bench, what's the muscle group that's actually giving out? Is it our chest or is it our triceps? Too many times, sometimes for me especially, I feel the burn a lot of my triceps when I bench, which makes sense because we're extending the elbow. What muscle allows us to extend the elbow? The triceps. But there's nothing wrong with throwing on an elbow sleeve. Why is it that when we squat, it's okay for us to throw on some knee sleeves, some knee wraps? Why is it that when we deadlift, it's okay for us to throw on a belt? But for bench press, we don't do anything for the elbows. No, go ahead and throw on some elbows. I see nothing wrong with that. Me, when I bench 2 plates, I can get it for, let's just say 7, 8 reps. But when I go ahead and throw on some elbow sleeves, now I can go ahead and hit 2 plates for now 9 or 10 reps. And just those 2 extra reps where I'm really pushing it at the end, those 2 more reps that I could have done with the elbow sleeves that I absolutely would not be able to do it without them, that's just 2 extra reps worth of gains that I can get. So you see, it's just helping you get a little bit more stimulus in that muscle. And that stimulus is what you need to promote the growth. So again, just how we use all these different supportive gears for a lot of lower body exercises, go ahead and use them when you're going ahead and doing your bench. Throw them on. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, you're not a power lifter, all right? It's not like you're going to be competing in the bench press where they don't allow elbow sleeves. No, you're training for looks. You're training to build up this muscle group. Go ahead and do what you have to do to get extra reps in, get a little bit more work in, so that way your triceps and your elbows do not become the limiting factor. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that sums up the bench press, which again is the first exercise that I would do. Second, we're gonna go ahead and just move it up just slightly. Now we're moving on to the incline bench press. Again, if I'm limited to only 2 chest exercises to do, I'm gonna go ahead and do a barbell bench press, typical. And then next thing, I'm just gonna raise that bench up a little. Now I'm gonna go with a barbell incline press. Now, whether you wanna do it with dumbbells, whether you wanna do it with a Smith machine, whether you wanna do it with an actual free barbell, whatever, just do something incline. Me personally, lately, what I've been really sticking with is actually on the Smith machine. Why? Just because why not? Honestly, it feels good. It feels controlled. The bar is in a straight path. If you want to go ahead and do it with the free barbell, okay, go ahead. If you want to do it with dumbbells, go ahead. Don't be commenting down below and don't be saying, oh no, the Smith machine is cheating. Cheating for what? What competition are you in? What competition are you competing in saying that the Smith machine is cheating? You're competing against yourself to see more results, more gains in your chest. So why all of a sudden is it an issue for me to utilize the tools that I know are gonna give me the best results for me? So just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the Smith machine. So incline, what exactly are we doing it for? Most people think that when you do an incline bench press, that it's only working out the upper portion of your chest. That is not the case. When you do an incline bench press, you are still working out your entire chest, but it's gonna place a bigger emphasis on the upper, similar to how when you do a decline bench press, you're still working out your entire pec, even the upper part, but it's just gonna place a more emphasis on the lower. You cannot single out a single part of your chest. If you're doing some type of pressing movement, it's gonna work out the entire chest. You can't just single out and say, I'm only gonna work these muscle fibers. Or no, for this exercise, I'm only gonna work out this part. No, as long as your arm is moving in some type of direction like this, it's gonna work out the whole thing. Now, the angle of the arm is just gonna determine which one of those fibers are gonna work a little bit harder, which ones are gonna work a little bit more. And that's exactly what the incline does. It's more emphasis on the upper, okay? So let's just get that straight. Now, again, similar to the regular barbell bench press, I want slow and controlled on the way down, and I want full extension on the way up. Me personally, I'm a big fan of full range of motion. A lot of times we hear people say, oh no, you don't have to lock it out. You want constant tension on the muscle, and they're only doing like this, or they're only going halfway up. But here's what I'm thinking about. From right here to here, obviously it's gonna be working out your chest, but it's not like from right here to right here, it's not also gonna work out your chest. Obviously it is, because the muscle and the arms are still moving in the same direction. You're just cutting your reps short. The more range of motion that your muscle is stretched across, and the more range of motion it gets contracted against, then it can lead to more results, because now it's lengthening and contracting across a greater distance, and the greater that distance, the more results you're going to see, because now your muscle has to work harder through that. So I don't understand why people have to only go half. If you know that works well for you, then by all means stick with it. But for me personally, when I'm doing my incline, I'm going to go all the way down, touch the bar of my chest, and then go all the way up. But here's the thing. When it comes to incline, since now we're elevated, some people, this is gonna depend on their shoulder mobility. As much as maybe they want to go all the way down, you know, when they're doing the incline, some people, their shoulder mobility is only limited to here. They don't have the best, they don't stretch. Okay, and you can only go up to here. Well, how about you take the time to maybe stretch a little the shoulder, you know, do a couple of these, you know, do a couple of these, you know, actually stretch out and not just lift all the time, actually focus on your mobility work. So now that when you're in the incline position, you actually can go low enough, touch your chest, get that stretch, and then back up. That is perfectly fine, and that's something that I highly encourage. High, full ranges of motion on all your lifts. That's what's gonna help you see more muscle growth. It's because now I don't necessarily have to focus so much on gripping the bar hard with my hand, because it's not like I'm handling the full weight. The bar is on rails, so it's kind of self-guided already, so that takes some of the pressure off of me to fully control it. But now I can, in my mind, envision, although I am grabbing the bar, on the way up, I'm envisioning and I'm squeezing my pecs as hard as I can, as if I'm trying to get my arms to come together like this. But in reality, they're only coming here. But just the thought of mentally me actually trying to go like that, I'm trying to squeeze my hands together as hard as I can. Obviously, they're not gonna go anywhere because the bar is locked in. I can't crush the bar together like that. That is something that I've noticed has helped me feel an immense burn on my upper chest. And it's something that I recommend for anyone who's gonna be doing it on the split machine or with the barbell. Yes, you can do it with the dumbbells. You can open it up like this and then you can close it. But like I said, lately I've been liking it a little bit more on the incline. That's just something that I've noticed has been working very well for me. So there you have it, everyone. Hopefully this video was helpful. Again, these are just the two exercises that I would limit myself to if I only had to stick with two to grow my chest. That being the flat barbell bench press and then the incline barbell press. Again, these are my personal preferences. At the end of the day, you gotta find what exercises work for you. Once you figure out what they work for you, stay consistent with it. Hit the gym accordingly, hit the frequency you need, hit the total weekly volume you need. Make sure you're getting enough rest, make sure you're drinking enough water, make sure you're eating the right macronutrients, especially protein, because that's what's gonna help us build the muscle. If you're trying to gain weight, gain muscle, obviously you need to be in a caloric surplus. You gotta take all these things into account if you wanna see the growth that you have in mind. Just wanna throw that out there. Comment down below if the video was helpful. Comment down below if you want to see another video like this, but for a different body part. And comment just any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe not just to my channel, but my girlfriend's channel and our couple's channel, so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And then Instagram, TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on my accounts, girlfriend's accounts, couples accounts. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.